filming? No, I was not. Now I'm trying.
But you're filming me now?
I'm filming the discussion of Dhamma.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just hold it because, like,
All
yeah,
right.
for the sound. So you were saying again?
What, just now? Oh, I was asking about
Like Mahayana Theravada you were discussing now?
oh, that, yeah, we were saying how Theravada, it's trying to be like it's trying to get back to the way that the Buddha originally taught, whereas the other branches like Mahayana, they've sort of taken a different direction from his style of teaching. Is that right?
Well, I would tell you from my practice is that I don't get into this learning about one culture, another culture, one tradition, another tradition, because I think that this is not useful for my practice. How can I improve my practice with the idea that this one is more traditional, this one is that? So I really try to keep my mind free from any desire to know, because this is actually a huge habit, human beings, to use our intelligence for knowing. Read newspapers, we scroll always our social networks for news, official news from our friends, etc. Because we have this attachment to know. But this is not the real knowing. This is the knowing with ignorance.
So you're instead of like trying to rationally understand, you want direct experience through the mind. Is that a good way to say it?
This is
actually what he was really. Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, I practice to detach from everything, right?
Yes.
Because any thought, any idea brings more thinking, creates papancha. Papancha is like developing of the idea. And then this makes me lost in this action, mental action, where I don't know the present happening and I just follow only the creation. The created mind can only create more and more, but our idea is to liberate ourselves. So the less I have, the less information I have. This is why, people when they practice formal meditation, they go to sit somewhere in a quiet place where there are no other people, where there are no smells, no tastes, not during like eating something, because you limit the incoming information. Information for the mind comes through all of the senses, through the nose, through the mouth, through the body, right, and also through the mental door. So when we practice mental meditation, like to have more ideal conditions, then we sit somewhere quiet when there is no entry point through these doors, only mental door. We cannot lock, we cannot shut down, we cannot. So then we work only with the mental factor. But as long as we live like our regular life, everything gives us information. The eye sees something, oh beautiful, oh yes, it reminds me of the vacation that I spent and I saw such beautiful flowers, something like, and then you go to develop more and more of the ideas, so you are never free.
Because you're attaching names to things and categories, and so that's the created knowledge as opposed to the what's the word again? The
impermanent nature.
Yes.
Ever changing
impermanent nature.
Yes, and more it is selfless. Selfless means it is not rooted into anything and something where it can be stable and permanent. So it is selfless because it is always dependent, it is conditioned. Condition changes, the perceiver changes. So like now, if between you and me, we draw like this, for you it will be 6, for me it will be 9.
Yeah.
Right? Because perceiver is different. The condition for this fact is different. So if condition changes, like of the weather, you go to another country, here you suffer so much from the heat, and then you come somewhere where it is cold, and you were just complaining, it is so hot, and now you start complaining that it is so cold. Because condition always changes, and the object gives already different information, different impression. So we say no self. Self means if we could control and keep it like this forever, or it could keep itself forever, then we could control never to be sick, never to die, never to be upset.
So never be sick, you mean, so like if you had an infection, you're not thinking of it as an infection. You don't perceive it as being sick. You just perceive it as existence. Is that sort of...
So in the terms that I was saying about no self, you deviate, but what you are saying also makes sense, that yes, when there is some maladie in French, I have the word, the sickness, when sickness takes place, happens, you don't perceive it as sickness, because sickness would be already accumulation of the ideas of many moments, something durable, something really existing. So you should know this is just the present moment knowing about. How do you know sickness? You know mainly about feeling, about your feeling, how your body feels, right?
Yeah, it's relative to how you feel other times.
Yeah, right. So this is how you recognize that this is not sickness, this is just feeling, this is just sensation, maybe goodwill?
Seems to be.
I guess we arrived at goodwill. Yeah, so any moment, just I got my stuff. You can attach it.
This car is gonna go back to the center to help set up wood, and then they'll come back here to pick up Seattle. You guys want to?
I go to Goodwill. We go to Goodwill.
Okay, you guys going to Goodwill?
Yeah, I need to get some stuff.
This is our traditional practice, Goodwill. You can attach it, magnet from one side and this thing from the other.
Okay. You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this, we continue discussion. This is what Sayadaw does often. When he goes anywhere, he keeps discussing like this. So when the sickness happens, we just, if we say sickness, it means we fix a concept. But the true reality is knowing the present moment. And in the present moment, there is just some sensation, some physical sensation and some mental idea about this sensation.
You know, it reminds me of a Nietzsche thing. You know Nietzsche?
Anicca is impermanence, Nietzsche permanence.
No, the German philosopher Nietzsche.
Nietzsche teaching.
Well,
yeah.
he was tearing apart the phrase "I think, therefore I am," which is Voltaire, I think, and he says, no, that's not true. He says, all you can say is just there are thoughts, like thoughts, more like the way he said it was, it thinks, as in it's raining, as in thoughts are just occurring. Experience is just occurring.
Yes.
But that is really the only thing you can know.
With the direct experience.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is what we aim at, to know the direct experience. And we should understand that any labeling like sickness is already a product of our mental activity. Mental activity is not much different at this point of explanation from a physical activity, physical sensation or smelling or something, because this is also appearing and disappearing. Mental activity. So
Yes.
saying sickness actually is just something that arose and disappeared on your mind.
And so, I mean, in sickness in particular, because this is something that's spoken about a lot in Buddhism, I guess it's there's a sense of relieving the suffering, right? To not be focused on the fact of the idea, oh, I'm so sick, I feel so bad. It's like the idea of just being able to be okay, even though your body's deteriorating or whatever may be occurring, right?
Yeah, so this is exactly what we are learning, that there is a very well-known expression in Buddhism that we say there are two arrows. One arrow is some kind of suffering, pain that is already happening to you, physical or mentally. And the second pain is always mental pain. It is the idea about that it shouldn't be and how bad that it is happening, and that, oh, sickness actually, yes, this is destroying me, and how dangerous it is. And all this is the second arrow. So usually suffering happens two times in the mind, which is with the delusion. But in the mind that has mindfulness and detachment, there is only one arrow which brings you pain due to the fact that all life actually is suffering. If there is life, there will be suffering. There will be this physical pain, disease, there will be aging, there will be separation from the ones that we love, there will be the contact with those who we don't want to be with, and there will be death in the end of the day. So all these and many, many more, they bring this first arrow. But the idea is that with mindfulness and detachment, with the right understanding, there is no second arrow, as you describe it, this thinking about how bad it is and where it brings me next in the future and what it will make, and etc., etc.
And so, I guess there's no escaping the first arrow, as you call it. So there will be suffering, but you don't have the added suffering of your perception of it. Is that the idea?
This is exactly the idea why Buddha, he spoke like there is the core teaching of Buddhism, where we say there are 4 noble truths. And the first noble truth is about the suffering, that we should understand and we should accept suffering, that life is about suffering. That, as you say, that it will happen anyway. We can't really avoid it. So this is something that we should really realize, because if we don't realize that suffering is like the fundamental, it is like the basics, it is the default state of life, then we can't continue training in order to escape that idea about, oh, maybe this is good, I can still maybe stop doing this, but I will be doing that, and like this I will be happy. No, you understand that suffering will be even if you are happy. Because even happiness is suffering. Because happiness brings you this illusion of liking something, of enjoying, but then it is impermanent.
It's gonna
it finishes,
leave you.
it will leave you and you will suffer.
Yeah.
But suffering also, like we don't speak about suffering about suffering. We speak about like this discontentment, we speak about some discomfort, about exactly the impermanence. This is suffering because it is impermanent. You can't grasp, you can't hold, and you can't do anything about it. This is why 3 characteristics, they always go together, like anicca, which is impermanence, everything is impermanent, dukkha, this is suffering, this is like discontentment because this is impermanent. And then anatta, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anatta is no self. Nobody can help, nobody can do anything about this fact that everything is impermanent and suffering. So anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, no self. They 3 go together.
You have to accept all of them completely.
We need just to learn to see them, because if you accept intellectually, this doesn't kind of save you much, because at the time that first arrow hits you, you will be lost in this situation. Somebody says like this, shouldn't say like that, this is not true, I will prove you, I will do like that, and you are just suffering from that. Because you forget that it is anicca, anatta, and dukkha. But if you know by your own experience about anicca, dukkha, and anatta, it is like at your cells level, you've experienced it.
You know it with the whole of your being.
With the whole of your being, not just intellectually, not just reading a book, heard Celia Moha talking about it, yeah, but you know it from observing life, from seeing how these characteristics like appear in everyday activities.
Like you know the sun in the sky. You don't think about it. It's always been there. It's a part of you almost.
But then you should know it, because exactly if it is just by default there, you will not get rid of the idea that there is a sun. You will not get free from this idea. So you need to recognize everything that you don't know, kind of become aware and detach. Detach just because it is anyway impermanent and you cannot grasp. So, but in order to detach, you need to know where the attachment is. If you can't know the attachment, you have no chance to detach. So anicca, dukkha, anatta we observe in everything. Like you see now exactly in the car we were hot. Now we came in the shop, it is already cold. So this is anicca, the process was impermanent. And if I had put some sweater on myself because no, not sweater, like here, if I put a sweater now because it is cold and I go outside, I need to remove this sweater.
Yeah.
So no self. I cannot control the situation. I cannot make it now always comfortable temperature. Although I try to adjust and put the sweater, but no self, nobody can control. It will be changing always. And it brings dukkha because I have to make a move to change something in my life. I don't just keep it as it is. I always try to do something. So it is this discontentment. So like this in all different situations, like, you know, you have your meal, you are eating something, and you just start eating and the phone, you get a phone call and somebody is calling you, and you see just this moment you were eating, but it is anicca, you're already on your phone call, you're not eating. And this is changing always. This is why ever-changing, impermanent nature.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so you see it on gross objects like this, like object of change in temperature, weather, like eating, then speaking. But then, with the practice of meditation, practice of mindfulness, with detachment, your mind can see processes with more frequency. And you can experience mentally, like with mental vision, with mental eyes, to see the phenomena of dukkha, of suffering. You can just have this insight that everything in all this life actually is full of this discontentment, of inability to do something, of no control, no happiness, no what can I do, like this. It can come mentally, this understanding, and it can come mentally that anicca, impermanence. You will see just now, just only now there is knowing of hearing. Here is already knowing of smelling. Here is hearing again hearing, and then some ideas that, I don't like this music, like not liking, mental factor. And then from one to another, consciousness perceives so many different objects and always changing. And you just stop seeing, like seeing or hearing, or you just see, just changing and changing and changing. And you have the insight into anicca. And you can have an insight into anatta. And then in the end, you can have three of them together.
And then you will be okay with everything as it changes around you. You won't need to always be trying to make everything more pleasant or more acceptable to your perception. You can just exist in any kind of state, any kind of weather, sickness, health, foreign place,
because
home
you just
place.
recognize, again, another one, like this. You will not be labeling right, wrong.
Like Sayadaw's facial expression, which is pretty much always
So
the
neutral.
same. Yeah, always neutral, no matter what's happening.
Yes, and like somebody will be bursting out with anger, he would just listen. Somebody will be saying, yes, I'm worried about this. He would just listen. Yeah, somebody asks money, somebody gives money. He just there with the same facial expression.
Yeah?
Yes, right. And this is why, because you understand this by your own experience, you know that this is the truth of everything and everywhere, then yes, you are liberated from influence of this to you. This is where you lose your I. You see, there is no me in any of this happening. I'm free from any of this, and you see that actually no I, because I is a perceiver. Perceiver also appears, disappears. As the knowing appears, disappears. As not knowing appears, disappears.
Like your life, you mean? The perceiver appears and disappears. You mean like the beginning of your life and the end of your life?
I mean, in every moment of knowing, like now, my voice sounds, and there is your perception of my voice. So if you are knowing the voice, you are knowing the hearing, but also you can try to see how this knowing of the hearing happens. This is the knowing of the perceiver.
Okay.
This knowing, this presence, this, because at another moment, like there is an announcement and something, so there is no perceiver of our conversation anymore because it is somewhere else and lost in thinking, etc. And then again, you are back into presence, you are back into existence.
So that's what you mean by disappearing and reappearing,
of the perceiver,
Yes.
of the self. Because we practice, and then we kind of still identify ourselves with this view that I'm the one who knows, I'm the one who experiences, I'm the one who understands.
So full enlightenment would be the perceiver is no longer appearing anymore.
Yeah, nothing is appearing, nothing is disappearing. Free, because appearing and disappearing is suffering.
So then how could someone talk and act in the world if they don't have any perceiver? Is it all just happening from a deeper level, from a more whole level, rather than in your conscious mind? Is that the sort of idea?
Did you hear Sayadaw teaches us, I don't know in this short period whether he said this already or not, he often repeats doing only, being only, experiencing only.
So like, I think the concept of no mind, or what's it called, active non-action, Wu Wei, it's a Japanese or Chinese, it's a Chinese concept, active non-action. So you act, but automatically, you're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna go and pick up that shirt. It's just, you're just, you're moving kind of as a whole being. It's not like your mind is controlling your body sort of thing. Is that the idea, more or less?
Here I would be also careful.
Yeah, I didn't word that well.
Yes, but you are round and about. This is exactly about some kind of action where we exclude our intention and our influence, that my presence, my doing, we just know doing only. Can you, like, for example, when you make a step, you can just experience the step.
Yes.
Like back and forward, like, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, there is just movement, only movement. So this is not I am moving.
Or like breathing is a good example.
Or like breathing is an excellent example. This is why we often take it as a meditation object, breathing. So breathing is an excellent example. Yeah, just you see that even if you stop breathing, you can't just, it will renew and it will continue. So breathing is just happening always. This is true. So this is how we need to learn about every action, and about, as you said, how the person can be speaking or something. We need to be knowing, speaking only, just formations of the air, like compacting air, you know, moving, and some other elements are happening at a tiny level. But it also the process of appearing and disappearing. So when we know that those are just appearing and disappearing, we are not pushing it, we are not doing it with intention, we are doing only. Doing like I'm not doing by itself. Speaking only. Speaking is the most difficult in the practice, because we all attach actually to speak, to say, to transform the idea into this verbal action.
So is it even possible to speak in that sort of fully detached mode?
So from my experience, meanwhile, it is not possible, but from the experience of Sayadaw, it seems like yes. But
so when he pauses before a question, he's not thinking? What is he doing? I
this
wonder.
I can recognize because I may have the same, like I can experience like this similar. Sometimes, like, you know, what we learn, as I was telling you before, about the information, that I try to reduce the information that I perceive so that my mind is free.
Yes.
So because of mindfulness with the detachment from one moment to another, I just drop every contact of feeling of the air on the skin, contact of the eyes, contact of the ear. I just, whatever happens, whatever consciousness arises, I try to just detach, drop. So mind is free. Thinking also doesn't happen because you're just detaching from any process naturally. Naturally, if you learn it, then it is natural. Before you do it like with some intention. So your mind stays free. So when you receive a Dhamma question, it is not you answering Dhamma. Now I'm not thinking about what to tell you. Can you see that I'm thinking? It is just a flow, right?
Yeah, and I've definitely had that experience at certain times, certain moments in life. There were times when I could speak, just, it was not coming from my thoughts. But you're right, it's very, very hard, and it does not happen. It can happen naturally to people who are not studying Dhamma, but it doesn't stick around. You can't access that at any moment in time. It happens only in very certain circumstances, I would say.
Yeah, but exactly that. Those moments when we don't respond immediately, we just stay free to perceive the current moment happening till Dhamma comes with some good idea of how it will be good to answer to you. Because if we do with attachment, with self, we will give just, in my view, how I know, how I do, and then we will just speak with self, and this means very limited understanding. But if we want to give the Dhamma answer, sometimes like the answer would actually change from the one who asks to another one. And this is when we just feel either it comes immediately or it comes from the level of understanding of the person. Like, it is easy to be talking to you because you seem to be understanding. But some people who don't understand, you feel that they have ignorance of grasping what you are saying and converting it into their own way of thinking.
Yes.
And then rejecting.
Yes.
So, and this is difficult then to say something. And then you just take this pause till Dhamma directs you to give the answer.
Okay.
So this is what Sayadaw does. We all are full of ignorance for his mind. His mind is free.
Yes.
So, and we are at a different, like you said, the word frequency of something, like maybe Aaron said, frequency, different frequency
Yeah.
of the mind. So Sayadaw, in order to explain to us that we understand in hardcore, in gross, everything in gross, not in subtle level, but in gross. We can understand gross examples. So he needs to kind of, you know, from this freedom of any words, freedom of any concepts,
Yes.
he needs to give us the answer at our gross level.
Yes, because it's really beyond words. I mean, you can really only point people towards like the deepest truths. It cannot be fully translated into words, right?
Yes, words are only, like Sayadaw says, to use only. Words are also to use only. Everything is to use only. So, and he said today, he was like giving us wonderful teaching. He was saying that we should just not attach even to our understanding or even to what is right, because attaching even to what is right will be already wrong, because we will fix it. Because he says, whatever is right now, it can be wrong like also at another moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially if you're thinking about it in terms of solid ideas or words or concepts, because that's just an expression, a representation of the truth. It's not the truth in itself.
Yes, exactly. This is just representation, and whatever representation there is, I just put it somewhere. Whatever representation there is, it is created representation, because all the world is created by our mind, and whatever we try to produce, to share to the other, we have to use only created world, created objects, created concepts. This is why Buddhism teaches us about the conventional truths, like truths, that we agree upon to use like this, in this language, in this culture, and then culture changes, and those conventional truths, they're a bit different. So this is why we say that all conventional truths, dukkha, they are anicca, they are anatta, because they're changing according to conditions. And then there is the absolute truth. Absolute truth is exactly the one which is true in all different situations.
And that is the, I got to remember the term again, but it's the impermanent.
But this is nibbana. This is impermanent nature and permanent nature, which is nibbana.
It's impermanent and permanent. Were you saying
So
the impermanent nature is
ever-changing
permanent?
impermanent nature
Is
yes.
permanent.
Yes, exactly. So two truths which actually explain the absolute truth, because change in nature, ever changing, ever means is constantly without end. Ever changing permanent nature is the truth, because there is nothing else but only this impermanent change in nature. Only this. So this is true for everything, and for any hearing, for any seeing, for any night and day, for any husband and wife, for any life or death. Only ever changing impermanent nature. And the permanent nature, which is not changing and which is free from any arising, which is full liberation. So this is the absolute truth that is true without any condition.
I think I need to get some things before we leave here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you need to? Yes.
No,
We
this is
had,
very
like,
good, though.
Full exposure of Dhamma, like full. We discussed in the car before.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's really good.
Hope
Like,
useful for others too. Yeah.
no, it's really good to be able to talk like